You're right. Tension is absolutely key in the genre of psychological horror. Actually, tension is key to most genres, but in psychological horror, it's absolutely crucial because it's the main thing that's going to pull your readers and your protagonist through the story. So, how do we do this effectively? Tension in story is basically just a way of inducing a kind of pleasurable anxiety in your readers. We like this kind of anxiety because within the bounds of the story, we're safe. This is because we know that the book has to end at some point, we're holding it in our hands. We can see that the pages eventually stop. So we are assuming that whatever anxiety we're experiencing through reading the book is going to be resolved. To put it in simple terms, tension is a buildup and then a release. So the first thing you've got to keep in mind when you're writing a psychological horror is that the tension does have to be resolved somehow. Your readers are trusting that this tension and anxiety is going somewhere, so do not disappoint them. Make sure that the conclusion to your story is satisfying and answers all the unanswered questions. But how do we create and maintain this tension? One of the most important concepts that you need to understand for this is the idea of stakes. As a writer, you need to know what is at stake for your main character every step of the way. In other words, what do they risk losing? And make sure it's something very important to them, like a loved one, their job, their house, their money, their sanity, even their life. And then once you establish what is at stake, you need to constantly be putting it in danger without ever fully taking it away from your protagonist. So that's where the tension lies, is the awareness that these things could get taken away, but they haven't yet. So will they? That's the big question that's guiding us through. And this isn't just what pulls your reader through the story, it pulls your main character through the story because they want to fight for what's at stake. They want to hold on to it, or they want to win over something. They don't want to lose something. They will keep fighting and keep pushing through the story that we are reading. So to maintain the tension, you've got to make sure that what's at stake is under pretty much constant threat. And if you're doing it really well, then you'll be able to ramp up the threat as the story continues. So the stakes increase and they keep increasing until finally, in the final climax, the stakes are the highest they have been, and it's one way or another. This is the moment where your main character either loses it all or gains it all. So I tend to think that these concepts are best learned by reading the experts. So if you do want to read some good examples of psychological horror, I would check out the books The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, and Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn.